What should you draw? One of the most fundamental questions in art, something I get asked quite a bit. And this can be hard, right? Staring down the blank canvas, just the number of possibilities can be paralyzing. So today, I'm going to give you a little nudge. Wherever you are in your artistic journey, let's talk about things that you should draw, things you can focus on. So whether you're a casual beginner, a skill builder trying to actively improve, or an aspiring professional, or even already a professional, let's confront that blank canvas. And I have been all of these things in my artistic life. So wherever you are, whatever your goal is with art, I can help. So hang out with me for a while. Let's watch this cool astronaut painting take shape in the background. By the end of this, I'm betting that you will be reaching for your sketchbook. Okay, first, let's talk about beginners, casual artists. But look, even if you are a professional, don't skip this part because there's stuff here that applies to everybody. At each phase, it's really important to know what your goal is. What do you want out of this thing that you are going to draw? Who are you drawing for? Very important question. When you're a beginner, that question's easy. You're drawing for you. You are your most important audience. And that's a wonderful thing. At this phase, we just want art to make us happy. It's just something that you do for you, a way to switch your brain off, a way to express yourself, just the joy of making something cool. It's okay if it sucks. It's okay if it's ugly. Throw it away. None of that matters. It's just for you. Two important things to keep in mind at this phase. First of all, you just have to do something, right? You can't steer a parked car. Theorizing, planning things out, whatever cool world you're building inside of your mind, watching YouTuber videos forever, none of that will actually make you any better at art until you do the thing. Pick that stylus up and start creating. Trust me on this, as a chronic art overthinker, this is good advice. And finally, fun. At this phase, that's really all that matters. Being fired up about what you're creating. Because the reality is, if you don't like something, if you're not having fun with it, you're just not going to do it. You're not going to come back and pick that pen up again. So we always want to be creating, always moving forward and getting those reps. When you love what you're creating, that sort of happens subconsciously. It happens without you even noticing. You develop that muscle memory the more you come back and just keep drawing. It becomes this awesome self-reinforcing positive loop. And that brings me to tapping into those rewards of drawing. So there's that meditative zone out, switch your brain off quality that drawing provides. There's self-expression, whatever awesome inner world you have, get it out, put it on paper. And finally, my drug of choice, that hit of just, damn, this is good. I love that. When a drawing starts to really work, that is just my favorite thing. So at this phase, we are trying to get ourselves good and hooked, but also kind of by accident, developing some muscle memory. How do we set ourselves up for success with this? What should we actually draw? Let's start with what makes you excited, but give yourself some easy wins. Nothing too complicated at this phase. If you set out to create some expert level masterpiece when you're still a beginner, you're probably setting yourself up for frustration and you'll end up just trashing your sketchbook, uninstalling your painting app. And we don't want that. So give yourself some easy wins. Things that will be cool without you having to be an expert. Great ways to do this. Things you should draw at this phase. Copy what others have done. Fan art. Go draw Spider-Man. Draw the Millennium Falcon. Master studies. Copy what other artistic greats have done. It's sort of like we're standing on the shoulders of giants to feel tall. We can also draw from observation or photos. Draw what's outside of your window. Draw your hand. Draw that cup of pens on your desk. And finally, those stream of consciousness sketches are great for beginners. I kind of hate the word doodles because it sort of diminishes the art, but that. Fill up a sketchbook with whatever feels like it just wants to flow out of your pen, whatever your hand just seems to want to do by itself. For me, that was always robots and bugs and spaceships. But reach back to childhood for this. Whatever you were first like really psyched about as a kid. Dinosaurs or sharks or Pokemon or whatever. Pick up that pen and fill up a sketchbook. Now, a word of caution. For beginners, for those really just starting out, I actually would not go to art school at this point. So I wouldn't get too into the weeds on artistic exercises and study. We don't want it to feel like homework at this point. So if you set out as a beginner right into starting to drill fundamentals or doing exercises, it might start feeling a little too much like work. You'll get burned out, none of those rewards will be coming in, and you're likely to just put the pen down and never pick it up again. So keep it fun, keep it light, not too much like homework. Okay, let's do some examples of my work when I was at this phase, and thank you to my mom for not throwing this away. Okay, let's check this out. This sketchbook goes back to about 1996, I think. So I'd been drawing for some years at this point, but I'm just having fun. I am doodling. I am filling up pages with stuff that I'm excited about. I'm getting all those rewards of art without making it feel like homework. So let's grab a couple. There's this dude who I doodled on some French homework. Très bien. Things like dinosaurs. Old school Jurassic Park was very big at this point. So all of those things that just made me excited, that filled up my inner world, that wanted me to create something. That's what I focused on. And I wasn't doing that deliberately, I just did it because it was fun. So, what should beginners focus on? Things that are fun, things that are high reward but low frustration subjects, and easy wins, things that give you those quick payoffs like fan art, master copies, or just fun doodles. Enjoy yourself, make friends with your tools, gain confidence, gain some muscle memory. It's all that matters at this point. Let's move on to the next group, who I call skill builders. These are artists who are comfortable with the fundamentals of art, who have spent some years, have filled some sketchbooks with cool stuff, and are even gaining some drawing and painting proficiency. So we're still focused on self-expression and satisfaction at this point, but we've made a subtle switch in a few key areas once we reach this phase. We are actively trying to improve and level up. We're having fun, but it's like we're working on ourselves. We start paying attention to those fundamentals. We learn the names for things. So I remember when I learned to describe light and dark as value instead of shading with a pencil. Now, you absolutely don't need an art history degree. We're finding our artistic voice and style. This is like that sorting hat phase of your artistic journey. What kind of art do I like best? What feels like my thing? When you are a skill builder, it's important that you consume cool art voraciously. So always be filling up your visual library with things that you find awesome. Pinterest and ArtStation, incredible resources for this that weren't around when I was at this phase. Study. We're actually kind of homeworking art a little bit. We are working on it at this point. So YouTube is an incredible resource. Courses online. Get yourself a teacher who knows what they're talking about. Or even art school. If you are in your skill building phase, obviously, if it's feasible, art school is incredible. Now, we want to get into a routine. We want art to be something that we can come back to and consistently devote some time to. We can do exercises. So what should you draw? I think exercises like gesture drawings, still life studies are excellent for skill builders. They build your knowledge of fundamentals. They get your hand used to creating effects that you need to call upon in order to create things. We can also fill up sketchbooks still with doodles, stream of consciousness stuff. We actually want to keep doing that at every phase. Even professionals keep filling up sketchbooks. But the critical difference here is when you're a skill builder, you should push yourself to start doing some full projects. No more drawer full of 15% completed things. We actually want to be able to start seeing something through from idea to finished projects. So put all that you know at this point into use when deciding what to draw. I think it's a great idea to try a little bit of everything. Think of this as like your freshman year in college when you take a class on just about everything. So design and paint a creature, a character, an environment, a spaceship, a gun. This is a great time to experiment, to try all kinds of different things and push yourself to see a project through from start to finish. Skillbuilder is the name of the collection of courses on DPS designed to do exactly this, to let you dabble and gain some knowledge in a wide range of topics. So if this feels like the phase that you are in and you're not sure what you should be drawing on, if you want some guidance and some instruction, definitely check this out. Okay, let's check out some examples of my work when I was in this phase. So this is art that I made when I was in college. This was the very beginning of digital painting for me. I had just started to get comfortable with Photoshop, and this was just this unbottling phase where all of these ideas I had had all of my life, I finally feel like I had the means to actually execute them. So this is all over the place because I was trying a little bit of everything. I wasn't sure what kind of artist I wanted to be yet. And that's okay. Pushing myself to kind of see something from start to finish gave me confidence at this level. It kept me coming back. It kept me proud of what I was creating because it looked somewhat realistic. It had kind of a cool idea behind it. And I felt like I was now capable of making something from idea to finish. That's a hugely empowering thing for an artist. So when you are setting out to make things as a skill builder, seeing things through from start to finish, doing a wide variety of things, kind of try a little bit of everything so that you start kind of sorting yourself into what sort of artist you feel like you are meant to be. Okay, let's talk about what you should draw if you want to be a professional artist. And most of the artists who I work with in my mentorship are in this category. And of the entire artistic journey, this is the biggest shift in mindset, because if you want to create art and be paid for it, then suddenly your art isn't just about you anymore. And that can be a difficult reckoning, right? Professional art is made to suit the needs of your clients and their audience. So your inner world that you have built with art now has all of these external considerations. Let's jump and check out some work that I was doing at this phase when I decided I wanted to be a professional concept artist and I was creating portfolio pieces. Now, there is some things that I was doing well here, but some critical things that I was doing wrong that we'll talk about next. So at this phase, I felt like I was quite skillful. My skills were built. I had moved past that skill builder phase, but my career wasn't taking off, right? Why is that? Here's where the change happens. When we want to be a professional, we have some big new considerations to keep in mind that I did not realize early in this aspiring pro process. We need to build a professional portfolio, and that is exactly what I wasn't doing in this work that we just checked out. Here's why. A professional portfolio does two things very well. It controls the relationship with the viewer. So mastering where your viewer's attention goes, what you want them to feel, what story you want them to understand, how much you want to leave to their imagination. That is crazy powerful. And the other main point is making your artistic decisions considering the art director's point of view. So not just what you think is cool, think about what they need. It's competitive out there to be a professional artist. Your art director might be sifting through dozens, sometimes hundreds of portfolios. So how can we stand out? How can we make ourselves seem like a professional when those other artists aren't? You can be a problem solver. You can make that art director see your work and just think, finally, this is the artist I've been looking for who can advance my project. I just want to check this off my list. this artist can solve visual problems. There's also the money factor. This could feel like kind of a bummer at this phase, but artists in the professional world, in the industry, are an input. You are being paid to do work because that art that you create will be used to create more money for another project, if it's a video game or a film or whatever. Your work is a piece of a business equation. So when an art director looks at your work, they need to see how it will make money for their project. It could look so awesome that it will get their investors excited. It could describe some concept that's difficult for their modeling team to understand really well. That moves a project along. All of those things just demonstrate value and professionalism. It's precisely what I was not doing in that earlier aspiring professional work that I showed. We also need to make a portfolio that's targeted. So if you have a portfolio filled with everything, with sketches and ink and photography and concept art and illustration, that art director doesn't really know what to do with you. I was hiring for a concept artist, but it looks like this artist is sort of everything. Not sure if that's what I need. So we show them a portfolio or just a targeted sheet attachment in an application that gives them exactly what they need. Shows them that we are the best artist for the exact role that they need to fill. That is what creating an industry-focused portfolio is. Creating art that will make money for your client. Sounds kind of mercenary, but that's what it boils down to. And that's what tips the balance in that art director's decision of who to hire, is how will this artist solve my problems? How will they advance my project? Now, we need to make art that looks awesome, obviously. And your entire journey as an artist, you will be gaining skills, picking up new tricks, learning new things, so your game just keeps getting stronger as you go. A lot goes into that, right? Becoming a professional artist is a mountain to climb, but there's no ceiling. You just keep going. You need to be able to design and paint very well. You need to tell a clear story, show a clear purpose with your art. So aspiring professionals, what should you draw? Here's what I recommend to my mentorship students, is build a project for yourself, kind of an imaginary assignment. Say you're working on a video game, and then design a series of projects within that. It could be a group of characters in a squad. It could be the character and their gun and their spaceship and their sidekick. Something that looks like this work was done for a real life project. That gives you that impression of an artist who's already experienced and professional. That's really attractive to those looking to hire artists. What it all comes down to, what makes a portfolio look professional, what makes art look professional, is confidence. Did this artist know what they wanted me to feel when I look at it? When I look at really masterful art, I can just feel like I'm being led on an adventure by this artist. They knew what they wanted me to feel. They knew the story they wanted me to understand, and they were in control. They knew where they wanted to let my imagination connect dots, and they knew what they needed to describe and draw focus to. When art does not do that, when it looks like the artist was kind of halfway between decisions or doing things that weren't deliberate, that entire illusion collapses. So confidence. It's hard to gain, it takes experience and repetition, but that really is the factor that seems to make or break a professional portfolio. So when you're picking what to draw, when you're making those brushstrokes, keep that in mind. Confidence really shines through, and show them exactly what you wanted them to see. Okay, I like to finish every video moving from philosophy into something actually practical. So I haven't even talked about this astronaut guy this entire time, but let's talk about him. One tip I want to leave with you guys that I love is the idea of using light, using value to tell a story. So this light shining on the astronaut's face and body is a really cool opportunity to do something fun. First of all, there's a lot of story just in that light source. There's something incredibly bright shining on him off camera. That gets our imagination going, right? Like, what is out there? What is that light source coming from? where is he going? He's facing the light source, so is he about to step out into whatever? And that's exactly the story I'm trying to tell. I want it to look like this guy is about to leave an airlock with his little droid buddy and go bring these cylinders wherever. Simple story, but evocative and cool. I like it. One really fun thing, and this is the main tip. If you paint that light source on its own layer, you have control over it. Instead of being this single bright orange, I now have the option of doing other things with it. I can block it out with a mask in certain points, make that light just a stripe only hitting him on his chest or his face. I can have it fade from bottom to top. And that's what I end up doing here. Here's a look at the finished product. See how I faded it from sort of barely there at his feet to full brightness on his face? It gives the impression of this door that's opening or closing. Something is moving. It could feel like a sunrise. Light is affecting him differently in different parts of his body, and that just adds instant drama and story. So remember, light, value, they can be used to describe three-dimensional forms, but they can also be used in a really powerful way to tell a visual story. It works on characters, creatures, buildings, a castle at sunset. Try this, it's really awesome. So remember guys, just draw. Make something. Pick up that pen and get going, and draw what is meaningful for you, whether you're a beginner or a professional. It should all still come from that place that makes you really excited as an artist. I hope this was helpful, so go draw something, and I'll see you guys next time.